Alright guys, welcome. This is a bit of an unexpected stream. I'm here for the pregame. Alright, well, awesome. Uphold your standards and don't drama bait. By the way, go arrest this guy I don't like. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I mean, I don't know if you want to come on and talk about that, we could do that too. But hey, frog legs of Croatia? Nice. Clever. Alright. So I think, and this is sort of self-indulgent, I suppose, that there's a chance that I've been banned on Twitter again. I logged on this morning, and it said I had a 12-hour limitation, but I could still DM people, and that was working. So I DM'd with a couple of people today, but just to test it out, and it seemed fine. And throughout the day, I read that Twitter Safety put out a tweet here. Hold on, let me pull it up, and we'll talk about this as well. That they are starting to crack down on so-called ban evaders. Hey, PJ, thank you for the $2, by the way. Good morning. All right, well, anyway. So it says, this week we are suspending accounts for attempting to evade an account suspension. These accounts were previously suspended for abusive behavior or evading a previous suspension and are not allowed to continue using Twitter. We will continue this work in the coming weeks as we identify others who are attempting to tweet following an account suspension. If you believe your account has been suspended in error, please let us know. Unfortunately, I tried to let them know, and they just kept giving me a non-response of, what did they say? Something like, you broke terms of service, but they never, something like harassment, I think, but they never provided a specific tweet. Oh, this account is temporarily restricted. Thanks, Zintrax. Maybe it'll be back. I think there's like 30 minutes before the 12 hours is up, so we'll see. But the reason that I am suspicious of a ban is because as the day went on, about a half hour ago, I was not able to even DM anymore. Unusual activity, huh? Maybe the unusual activity is because I was trying to change stuff behind the scenes to see if I could... Because when I read this, I was like, oh, crap, maybe they'll tie like a phone number or an email address or something to me from a previous account, and I'll get screwed over. So I tried to change that behind the scenes. Maybe that is what made them, make an additional limitation on the temporary suspension. It's going okay, George, except for I'm a little bit pissed off at social media. But I guess that's nothing new. It may, but it may also be your saving grace. I'll be all right if it works out. Problem is, and why I'm getting a little bit concerned, is that I can only see people following me. I can't see the people I chose to follow anymore. So it's like things are disappearing little by little. And I remember that when I got banned from my old account, that it pretty much just showed like everybody unfollowed me and I was following no one and I couldn't see much of anything. And then the window popped up that was like, account suspended. Twitter is NeoGAF now. It's so annoying and stupid. Yeah, I don't think that I did anything. I mean, look, of course I'm not going to think I did anything, but it's not like I threatened anybody or anything crazy like that. Sometimes I will obviously throw out insults at people who are antagonistic in some way, but it's usually deserved. Like, I don't go at people that don't go at me, pretty much, or that don't put out something that is inflammatory. Because I feel like if you're going to put out something inflammatory, you should be able to, deal with a response in kind, but a lot of people can't do that, and that's kind of going to go into a little bit of what we're going to talk about here tonight. It's going to be a shorter stream, obviously, because Killstream has got to get on pretty soon, and I don't want to take up, too much time and give them time to prepare and stuff. Let me see that. Okay. It's just showing like subscriptions on... I guess I turned my PC down a lot, which is fine. But I guess if someone hopped in Discord, it would be a problem with hearing them. I stopped using Twitter. Well, see, I'd like to stop using it. But I guess it's just become an easy way to interact with some of the people that I know from YouTube and stuff. So that's an issue. Hey, Dongwave, what's up? I couldn't reply to your message anymore because my Twitter account is on the brink. I don't know what's happening with it. It might survive, but we'll see. I don't want you to take too much time either. Don't worry. I don't plan to. Thought I was hanging with the cool kids. How much chance of that? I actually didn't listen before, after that message I sent you. I was just bored out of my mind. He didn't really say much of interest. I'll probably go back and listen to it later or something. But I thought maybe you were probably going to send it. I thought you were going to send it to Ralph or something, and maybe they would listen to it on the show. Hey, Lead-Pilled. I heard Matt just took down Alex Jones' channel on Neopets. Thanks for the $5, PJ. Appreciate it. I feel you about Twitter. I had my second account. Well, here's the thing. It's like every time that I build up some sort of following, something like this happens. And that's just a little bit frustrating. The first time I had a somewhat viral tweet in regards to J.K. Rowling, and she kind of like misrepresented something Trump did, and I corrected it, and it kind of exploded. It was retweeted by a lot of larger names, for lack of a better way to put it. Donald Trump Jr. actually retweeted it, so there's actually a good chance that the president himself saw it, which was pretty funny, I thought. And then from that, I gained like 1,000 followers or something, and so it was, I had a decent amount for my Twitter account, at least. I know there's people that had a lot more, but it was like I had so many posts that I wanted to keep, and then they ended up getting destroyed. They took down Jay Dyer's WordPress. Yeah, I saw that. I was actually listening to his stream earlier. I thought that was pretty messed up. I don't see any I'm sure that you could probably find one. I don't know much about Jay. I've listened to a little bit of his stuff. He seems rather inoffensive as far as like inflammatory comments go, so I don't understand why they would, take him down on that kind of basis. You can download... Yeah, I downloaded an archive. I think I downloaded an archive from my old account, but like, what can you do with it in the format that it's in? I'm pretty sure... Here I am like stumbling over my words, but I'm pretty sure I downloaded the archive from my old... What format did they give it to you in? I'll have to go and look. I'm actually not sure. Oh, for a sec I thought Ralph was actually here. He said he might pop in, but I can't DM him now, so that's not gonna happen. It's probably Jay's son. That's what I'll call it, instead of JSON. I don't know how you do it. All right. Well, that this Twitter stuff, it feels like it's out of control. Like they just have very arbitrary rules. They don't, everybody knows this. They don't apply them evenly across the board. You got the verified accounts that can basically say death to Whitey and all this stuff, and they never get banned. But, you change it to any other thing, and that's it. Game over. So it amazes me. I mean, you can't even say, what was that Dick Masterson originally got suspended for on his old account? Saying eat a cinder block to Chris Ray-Gun. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so you can't do shit on Twitter, basically. Burn it all down. Welcome to Gab. Yeah, the problem is that it sucks that like nobody, comparative, to Twitter, that nobody uses it. Because we're fools, pretty much. That's the basic answer. I mean, look, I understand the whole, why do you use it if it just fucks you over? I totally get that. But at the same time, there is something to be said for being able to be critical of something that you would use if it just was a little bit more fair. I know that our criticisms are probably never going to matter, but it's like being a video game reviewer. Well, not a modern one, but back in the old days where you could actually like a game and criticize some parts of it, but still enjoy it overall. Glad I never got started on social media. You are a wise, wise person. I actually, I wish the same sometimes. The only way you can do it is to use an ISP who doesn't care. Host your infrastructure there and build the app. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are even getting their own websites taken down, so it's actually kind of crazy. I don't like this idea that somebody can have so much control over something that has so much information on it, or that they can control the flow of what information we get. It's bad enough that you have mainstream media doing that kind of thing. The internet is sort of where you can go to hear what real people are saying. Of course, there's obviously a lot of propaganda online as well, but you can parse through it for yourself and kind of figure out what's what if you really, really want to, if you still have the ability to think critically, which unfortunately it seems like more and more people don't. And the interesting thing about it is that a lot of the people that have lost their ability to think critically about things that they might otherwise dislike if it was targeted a different way, is that they used to be distrustful of the media, but now suddenly that the media is all over things like Trump and white supremacy and racism and all these buzzwords, suddenly they're not at all skeptical of anything that the media puts out. It drives me up the wall. Got rid of all mine last year. Best decision I've made. It's true. It's fucking bullshit. Like, when I take a break from social media, life is just infinitely better. J Dyer got deplatformed from WordPress. Fix it. Yosemite Sam, thank you for the $2 there. Yeah, he's going to be on Killstream tomorrow, so I'm sure that, I'm sure he'll be around to talk about it. Hopefully it's just like a false flag and he can get it back, because it seemed like he had a website that he put a lot of work into. I'm not too familiar with it. Everyone notices they hate it and enjoy it when they're not on it, but in the business world, they always tell me I've got to have it. I mean, I even kind of feel that way about real life now, because I've told people before, I don't have Facebook, and I've actually had people not believe I'm a real person, or like that I'm some kind of scammer or something, because I don't have a Facebook account, because they can't go to it and look at every little detail of my entire life. It's like, do you guys not remember meeting people before Facebook existed? You couldn't just go to some page and look at everything they ever posted. Now people expect to just be able to like go through your history as though they've known you for your entire life. And when you say you're not there, or that you don't use it, they assume some kind of malicious intent. It's like, no, I just prefer not to have all my information out there. And I'm sure in some regard my information is already out there. I have shown my face online before and all stuff like that. So obviously, to some degree, I'm out there. I'm always going to be out there. But I would, at the very least, like to minimize that footprint, leave very little of what, people can see. It's mind-blowing, and I think a little bit frightening that so many people just kind of have laid down and accepted that this is the way it is. It's like, it's progress, it's change, it's automatically good, So therefore, we have to accept it because this is the future. It's like, well, what if the future is heading towards, the worst possible scenario, which it really feels like it is. It feels like it's heading down this path where, the internet is going to be under control, geared towards a certain narrative, where everybody's information is going to be readily available, and to some degree it already is. It's like, have you ever gone to something like White Pages or been verified or some shit like that? You can go there and all your information is on there. I'm talking, address, phone numbers, full name, obviously, people you're related to that you may not even share a last name with. It's actually kind of disturbing to look at. I actually went one time and tried to remove as much of that as I could from the internet. And it's so hard to get these websites to actually take it down. It's insane how it's fair for them to just do that. And it's like, yeah, it's treated kind of like a phone book, but at least when phone books were a thing, it took some effort. Like a person would have to actually get the phone book. They'd have to live in the city where the phone book was available. It wasn't a worldwide thing. Now it's like your information is potentially global. Yeah. Hello, my name is Zero and I don't have a Facebook, but I'm not a psychopath, honestly. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't imagine. I just, sometimes it's mind-blowing to me that that's the world I'm in, where someone can actually question the validity of my existence on the basis that I don't have some stupid, arbitrary social media page where I, post selfies and what I ate for breakfast that morning. That sort of reaction should be a red flag to you. Social media whoring is endemic and profoundly harmful to healthy relationships. I'm going to actually go up and see what he said there. Because I want to see I use dating sites, and when I tell the girls not on Facebook, their first reaction is, that's weird and a red flag. Yeah, that's crazy. That's an absurd attitude to have. But, the thing is like, it seems like to generalize, it seems like a lot of women are into that attention seeking behavior because, if they're mildly attractive, they'll go online and they'll be told by thousands upon thousands of people that they're the greatest thing to ever walk the earth, just for existing. So I imagine that it becomes addicting to them. We're going to go back to building apps like we did in the 90s, I hope. Whoa there, Anita. Well, I don't think that... Man, do we have to ruin that word now, too? It just seems like so many terms are ruined. I get you're messing around, but I know what you're saying, because I was thinking about this earlier with words like toxic, which is... it's a word that's never really been a big part of my vocabulary anyway, but now it's been used as like a catch-all. Anything I don't like is toxic to me. And that drives me insane. It's like these people have a user manual of talking points and buzzwords that they use, and it's like that's the extent of their vocabulary. But if you wear next to nothing on Snapchat or Instagram, that's okay. That's another thing that I feel like is it's just so absurd to me that it's considered normal. They'll only be mildly attractive until they're about 26. After that, if their existence is based on social media BS, well, they're fucked. I agree to an extent, and the reason why is, like, you're not wrong about that part, but a lot of the time, these people can make a pretty decent living off of that, and they get all these sponsorships, these brand deals. So if they're smart, they could actually retire by the time they, get to that point. And it just feels crazy to me that it's worth that to people. Facebook bad and you're new to the on Insta, okay. But yeah, going back to that, it's actually wild that it's considered the norm to just like post your body and things like that. It's crazy to me. I feel like it's something I'm never going to get used to. Case in point, there's a girl named Ethnic Kekistani and she has a Oh, you mean like a twerking video? Oh, no. GameFAQs was always a cancer. Yeah, I can't stand game facts. So my voice is breaking. Let me take a drink here. It's also egotistical. My friends would go nuts if I didn't comment on their stupid photo albums. It is. It really is. Like, I've had people do things like that before. Why haven't you commented on my new photo? Or why don't you like my posts? How come you're not favoriting my stuff? It's like, well, because I don't think our friendship is based on something so shallow as a random social media upvote that ultimately means nothing. Well, because your posts lick balls. That's a great answer. And, you know, obviously true. People can get used to anything. They just fucking banned me again on Twitter. I had that elusive Ralph Retort follow. Yeah, Worski followed me last night. I assume it was because he knew that I was hosting Killstream. And it's funny because now I'm probably banned. Actually, let me check on that Twitter ban. Let's see what happens here. Can I tweet? Five minutes to go. The countdown continues. Will I be banned or will I be back? Women are obsessed with social media and photos. I feel like it's really unhealthy. I mean, everybody wants to pretend that it's the greatest thing ever, but I really, really feel like it's doing a lot of bad, you know, not only for just the general well-being of individuals, but also for relationships. I mean, think of it like you hear so many stories, and I know this is possible even without social media. Love the broadcast, first time watching. Thank you, Seabass. So I know this is possible without social media, and it's happened before the existence of it, but I feel as though people are less satisfied with their partners now. Sup, pal, listening in, good shit. Hey, Andy, thank you, man, appreciate it. If you ever wanna stop in, feel free, man. Yeah, so it's like it feels as though we have come to this point where people are never satisfied with their relationships because the grass is always greener, and they can always go online and seek out somebody else to talk to, somebody else to thirst over. And you have so many stories of people getting back together, you know, with their exes that they reconnected with on Facebook and crazy stuff like that. And it doesn't seem to be. It feels like loyalty is dying. The idea that a relationship is something to value and to treasure isn't lasting anymore. And people want to complain about, birth rates and things like that. And it's like, and the broken family and all those things tie into that. So it's like, if you really want to address those problems, you have to address the root issues. And everyone refuses to do that because they're hedonists. They just want to enjoy what they enjoy and not think of any of the fucking consequences. Let's see here. Just checking in chat. Social media is more toxic than being locked in an airtight room with Movie Bob on Burrito Friday. I would agree with that. That's for sure. Let's see. The social media fanboyism has actually taken a toll recently. Facebook is definitely on the outs with major media. Twitter is teetering. Instagram and Snapchat need to be hit hard. I'm surprised they haven't, because there's a lot of rumors that these women with, you know, all those followers that seem to be always traveling, always having these extravagant trips with photos all over the beach and stuff like that. There's a lot of rumors that they've actually taken part in a form of prostitution where they'll get these rich men to, you know, pay to take them on these trips and stuff for a quote-unquote price. And I'm sure you can imagine what some of those favors involve. What browser do you use? So I usually use Chrome. I'm thinking about switching. I used to use Firefox. And I don't know. Chrome I want to break away from because it's Google. I'm tired of Google. I want to break away from them as much as I can. And I know that's ironic, sitting here on YouTube bitching. But I feel like they're just too much. They're taking over too much. They have too much power, too much control. And nobody wants to do anything because, LOL, I'm a private company. It's like, how can you say that a company that I'm pretty sure has accepted government funding in some form, or that is not responsible, not legally responsible for everything that's posted on it, how are you going to say that they're still a private company when they basically have as much power as a government? They can control what you see. They can mess with the algorithms. They can pull their revisionist history with searches behind the scenes. It's insane. Google is a private company. Now bake me a cake, bigot. Right, the double standards. It's always the double standards. I think that if you're a massive company that controls information, which is insanely important, it's not right that you should be able to manipulate that. You need a company to do that. If a company's going to do that, it has to be one that does not insert politics. And on that note, why? Why is it that everybody wants every company to step in and spout politics and, confirm their biases? Why is it necessary for every single company to be an activist? It doesn't make any sense. And the thing that blows my mind is that these morons, they don't see that it's just a marketing tactic. These companies don't care about these issues. If tomorrow it was popular to hate gay marriage, guess what Google would be doing? Because you can't tell me that they really care about these issues. It's all virtue signaling. It's all to draw in an audience. Trump can't block anyone, but they can ban the shit out of whoever they want. Oh, that topic drives me insane with the whole let's sue Trump because he blocked me on social media. They have so many other ways to get news. Trump is not a news source. He's the president. Don't they have enough news sources bashing on him? Let me see what happened here, because I think my 5 minutes is up. Your account is now restored to full functionality. Hey, we survived the nuke. We did it. Oh, wait, to unlock my account. Okay, I got to do some things to unlock my account, but I'll just do that later after the stream. I don't need to worry about that. So let's get into the other topic before I get out of here pretty soon. And it's an interaction I had a couple of days ago on Twitter with Bunty King. I'm not sure how many of you guys are supporters. But it doesn't matter. Look, that's not the point. They watched this on the kill stream last night. It's the Bunty video where he talks about people talking shit. The rats that talk shit. So I'm just gonna have you guys listen to it again in case you haven't heard it. Under the bus here, okay? Because so he basically says he's not going to name names, but I'm just going to let you listen for yourselves, and then we'll go over what I said to him, the way he acted in response, and just generally what I think about this.
I'm not going to be naming any names, all right? No names need to be mentioned at all. This is simply advice that I'm giving to you based upon my time spent on this platform, which is youtube.com, and the observations I made surrounding the social dynamics present on it, all right? It's really, really, really simple shit. If you want to make content on YouTube, congratulations. I hope you have a fucking fantastic time doing it. It is a really fun process. There's awesome people to meet on this platform, okay? But what you need to know is that 100% of the time, there's going to be someone that doesn't like you. Actually, 100% of the time, there's going to be multiple people who don't like you, and it's very possible that some of these people will actually create content of their own, talking shit about you, and talking shit about what you do, and talking shit about everything in general, and just you routinely talking shit. But what you need to do is focus on yourself, focus on creating better content, and not worry about what these people are saying, especially not to the degree where you go and you start to take down their content. You do not want to stop them from talking shit. Let them talk shit. Let their fucking mouths flap. Let their fucking shit just come out of their mouth. Just let everything just come out of their mouth. while you worry about what you gotta do, okay? Do you know how many people talk shit about me? Do you know how many people say untrue things about me? So many people. But I don't go after them, because they're fucking losers. And I'm busy doing my thing. It's just that simple. Do your thing. Do your fucking thing. And don't worry about the fucking rats. You can worry about the rats, you want to make fun of them, you know, because if it you know, makes your community laugh. But don't worry about the rats to the point where you debase yourself. Don't fucking debase yourself because of the fucking rats.
So did you hear that? All right, first of all, I want to make a clarification here. Now, Bunty is somebody that I followed for a little while on Twitter. I watched his Twitch streams from time to time because, you know, he's all right when he's just playing video games or whatever. And now, to be fair to him, he was decent to me on a couple of occasions, and I will name those occasions right now. There was a time where he promoted my Twitch channel, which, you know, I thanked him for, so I'm not going to kiss his ass for it. You know, it was a nice gesture at the time. But that doesn't mean we can never criticize each other because he did that. The other time was when I asked him about, you know, tips for Twitter suspension, how he got his account back, because he got an account back. And he was, you know, he told me what to do or whatever. Fine. Thank you. You know, good on you. And to me, he was just a guy. You know, he was never really like this figurehead to, you know, take great advice from or anything like that. He was just a dude that I would interact with from time to time. Sometimes I'd agree with him. Sometimes I wouldn't, just kind of like anybody else in the world. But I didn't really invest myself in his talking points. And there were little things about him that I did find a bit cringy. One of those things is his propensity to try to insert himself with e-celebs. He's always trying to get friends, become friends with people that have a lot of clout on social media. And I think it's, you know, quite honestly, extremely cringy. Just because somebody has a large following, you know, it doesn't mean they're a good person. It doesn't mean they're worth being friends with. So I want to say also that I think he was pretty spot on in the beginning of the video, because it is true that if you're on social media, if you are a public figure, there are always going to be people that don't like you, and you can't stop creating content because of that, because, you know, people that talk, quote unquote, talk shit about you aren't always right. So you do, to an extent, have to keep going regardless of what people say. I think what happens with these guys is there comes a point where they conflate shit talk with valid criticism. And then they mix them together and say everybody that criticizes me is a fucking hater and nothing they say is valid and I'm always right. And, you know, it gets to a point where their ego is so big they can't even fit their head through a doorway. And it drives me nuts that they think that just because they find themselves to be so balanced that they're sometimes always right. Now, towards the end of the video, he implies that the people that were on Mundane Matt, because we know that's who he's talking about, were rats. Now, how are you going to tell me that somebody that went around flagging videos behind people's backs, flagging videos of somebody that was supposed to be a close friend or a, you know, somewhat close friend, that they're rats? Who's the bad guy here? The person that is quote-unquote talking shit, or the person that is fucking with people's livelihoods? And that's the point that I wanted to make when I spoke to him. But also, I was tuning into a stream by some black guy where he was talking about Mundane Matt, and he was talking about Alex Jones, and the chat replay was on. I happened to catch a comment by Bunty, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But what I find to be amazing here is the refusal to name a name, because he definitely named a name when Tariq Nasheed flagged him off of Twitter. And there was a big campaign, you know, bring Bunty back. He's been false flagged off Twitter by Tariq. You know, and rightfully so. But then in this situation, not going to name names, not going to do it. And I just think that it's ridiculous. It's unbalanced. Hold on a sec. Getting thrown off by these notifications. All right, so another thing. You heard him say, let people talk shit. They're rats. Meh, meh, meh. And then he says, you can make fun of the people that talk shit to your audience if it entertains them. So he's basically saying, it's okay when I do it. I can talk shit when I feel like it. And you want to know something else? He makes it sound like people that make content related to other people are just, garbage shit talkers. But you know what, Bunty? You have an entire fucking series talking about posts on social media that you think are posted by people that are dumb. Remember that? You remember? Because I could go to your channel and find it right now. Whole series. So apparently, it's okay when he does it. Now, let's go down. Let's scroll down and see what happens next. Oh shit. The post I made isn't there. The original post. Where's the screenshot? I'll find it. Damn you, Bunty. I don't want to look at your face anymore. I fucking hate that Ricky Berwick guy, too. He's such a little idiot. I don't know why it's not showing up. I'll have to go and... Damn, am I like shadow banned from his posts or something? What the... And now I can't get to it in the thread. Okay, so... Let me just tell you what it said, since I can't find it for whatever reason. Basically, Bunty said, and I do have the screenshot, I can provide it later if, necessary. I can't do it right now because I can't get into my Twitter. He said that, well, Matt was on such a cancerous stream, and he was wrong, but they baited him. Are you serious? They baited him? So I took that screenshot and I posted to him and I said, what's your deal here? You claim you're all about talking to people, and yet you call them cancer, on the basis of what? That you dislike their show? And, I went on. I said, apparently it's only okay when certain people do it. I'm just sick of people putting on the facade of a balanced persona when it's quite obvious that it's an act and they mostly hide their real opinions. Matt was one of those people. I'd rather someone talk shit and it be their real view than pretend to be a nice guy for the camera and have it come out later on that it's just a fraud. Real people over fake kindness any day of the week. Screw this e-celeb pretend BS. And of course he comes in, how does this in any way make me look like a phony? I think that shit is cancer. That's why I don't hang around. When, at any point, have I ever shied away from saying I don't like something? Did I say it shouldn't exist? And you see how he tries to control the narrative, how he tries to bend it into being, oh, you're saying I think it shouldn't exist? I said it has nothing to do with saying it shouldn't exist. It has to do with you pushing the play nice garbage, and when it's clear you don't play by that rule when it suits you and it looks hypocritical. He says, I don't think that side of the community is nice. Do you get it? It's really just that simple. You've seen me be not nice to people before. This whole, oh, you're not always nice argument has been used on me before. Maybe it's been used before because there's something to it. In the same way you're not always nice, they're not always mean. I'm really not sure how you're missing that. And it's true. I don't see how he can write this argument off. If he's going to say that community is just not nice, and I think he just meant like, Ralph in the crowd. And look, you could say that sometimes he's abrasive, he's blunt, straightforward. But to say he's never nice, that's fucking bullshit. To say the guys on that stream are never nice, I'm sorry, that's crap. I mean, I've seen myself that they are, in fact, pretty nice if they like you. If you treat them with respect and they'll treat you with respect in return. They don't just randomly try to ruin somebody's career or whatever. There's a reason for it. There's a reason that they went after Matt. And they didn't even necessarily go after Matt. It kind of fell into their laps. Some people are of course going to say, well, you're just white knighting because, you're buddy. And it's like, no, I can be fair and say that, obviously, like I said, Ralph can be abrasive. Ralph can be a very good shit talker. But these guys are so fake. They act like they never do it when they do. So, of course, he spurgs out and does a video response. Let's see what Bunty says. Hold on, let's go back. Man, this guy pisses me off. All right. Come on, dude, load. I'm going to reload.
Before by,
here we go.
It's been used by people like Cult of Dusty. All right, I don't like talking about him really because every time you talk about him, it gives him attention. Just like you guys. Hey, talk about you guys, gives him attention.
You know what? I want to point one thing out. especially what Zintrax said there. They tried to give him legitimate advice. Not only did they try to give him legitimate advice, they gave Matt a lot of chances. There was the whole thing with the ex-writer for Ralph's site that did a very horrible thing. Matt went and tried to use that narrative and say, oh, look, you were complicit in this. You were involved in this. You enabled it. He still spoke to Matt after that. He let bygones be bygones. So you want to tell me that that's not a nice thing to do? Kiss my ass. All right, let's get back to this.
And they're like, oh, fuck. Oh, he said our stream's cancer. It's going to give us something to talk about for the next, 5 days.
Now, you see what he did there? He said our stream is cancer. This guy's so dumb, he doesn't even realize it's not my stream. He twists the argument to be like, instead of me having a valid point about his double standards and hypocrisy, he turns it into, you're just mad because I don't like your show. Me. It's not my show.
But listen, Dusty used that shit too. He would talk some shit, and then I'd fire back, and then he would be like, "Oh, look, he's not that nice." And look, I talk shit. You're obviously firing back. I'm not blaming you for firing back. Don't tell me this whole not nice bullshit. Relax, okay? I'm talking to you. I'm not fucking hating on you. I'm just saying, whatever, dude. Whatever. Them's the fucking breaks. Who cares? Who fucking cares about what I have to say?
That's the only smart thing he said in this video. You know what? It's funny. He tells me to relax. But yet here he is spurging out on a video, misrepresenting the argument, because I dared disagree with him. Because I dared point out that maybe he was wrong.
My message from this video still stands. I'm not gonna if you spend the next fucking 2 days talking shit about me and be like, oh, Bunty King's such a fucking rat. Bunty King's a fucking fake loser. Bunty King's a fucking asshole. Go for it. Have a good one. Enjoy yourself.
See? He can't handle it. So let's go. Then why the fuck doesn't this show? This is so weird, my tweets don't show. Alright, well, whatever. He says, I like Ethan and everyone else on the kill stream. It's okay for someone to not like it and still think it's wrong for Matt to flag them and take them down. These are not contradictory opinions or positions. Listen, Ian, that's not at all what I said. That was not at all my point. I told him to keep misrepresenting the argument. Let me see if I can fucking find this. No, I can't. I can't find it now. They took my tweets away. I wanted to show the whole thing, but he said we were shitting our pantses and our pantses. He said that's not what I meant to say. He said we were shitting our pants over this, and now I'm spurging. Listen, it bugs me that Twitter took the reply away. Basically, I just told him that he was basically projecting. He was saying that we were flipping out when he spurged out over the fact that I disagreed with him. And he then went on to continue to misrepresent my argument to other people and claim it was just about him disliking the show. People are just butt mad because he dislikes a stream. No, asshole. It's because you're a hypocrite. It's because you tell other people how to act and then don't live up to those standards. I think they'll come back as soon as I fix my Twitter. Unfortunately, I can't do it on stream because I have to get a verification from my phone. Actually, maybe I can do it. Hold on one sec. Let's just see. Unlock your account. Pass a... Let me see what happens. All right, let me just see what happens here. I know you guys can't see what's going on, but I'm trying to get this. All right, they're sending me a code, which I may actually be able to receive. Hopefully. We'll see if it comes in. I don't know what's going on with this shit. But I found this to be aggravating. And the reason I found it to be aggravating is because I've always been... regardless of what anybody thinks of the guy, I've always been respectful, even when I disagreed. So it blows my mind that he could just act like a bitch over one disagreement. And this is probably the biggest disagreement that I've ever had with the guy in our interactions. So, to me, this shows his character. He doesn't want to be questioned. All right, let me see if the message came in. It did not. Man, I don't know what's going on with this. How do I get back to it? Ah, damn it. Well, whatever. I can't do it on stream, apparently. I don't want to waste too much time with that. Oh, God. Please tell me that's not who I think it is. I know at least one person is going to get a kick out of that subscription when it pops up on the screen. And allow me to explain why, if you don't know. So, that username right there was used by this pedophile advocate on Twitter. Visiting your Twitter account, it says, caution, this account is temporarily restricted. Yeah, I guess it's going to stay that way until I'm able to do this phone number thing, which apparently, for whatever reason, is not working. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I signed up in a different account? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out later, and hopefully I'll be able to return. Who did you behead to get that warning? Honestly, I'm not sure what I did. There was no rhyme or reason to it. I just got up this morning and it was gone. And I couldn't get in. It said, 12 hours and you'll be golden, but that didn't seem to be the case. Some triggered trans women. Yeah, that might have been what it was related to. Did Bunty report you? I hope not. I mean, I think he muted me because he stopped answering after a while. So I'm fairly certain that he muted me because I said things that would definitely get under his skin if he saw it, and he never replied. But he did reply to other people in the same thread. So I'm fairly certain I've been muted because he's triggered. And I know he's muting a lot of terms like that lately on his Twitter. If you go there, he's like, I don't want to be part of political discussion anymore. I'm going to, mute these terms. He's a whiner. Flat out whiner. Let's face it, probably was the skeptic crowd. Yeah, I'm going to say that it wouldn't be a shock to me anymore. There's so many instances of that, too. And I guess Shuon had said something about Matt. And the thing that blows my mind about that is that she went, and if you guys remember a couple of years ago, Candid, she was caught blocking comments from her comment section and Armored Skeptics comment section with the word Candid in it because they wanted to sweep their mistake under the rug. They never apologized for it. They never said, hey, we fucked up. We took money and didn't think and just signed a paper and signed away our principles with it. And you know what? I don't believe those are their principles. If you can be bought and sold, you're not principled. And there's no reason why anyone should listen to you talking against SJWs if you can't even live up to your own standard. These are the people that claim to be so rational, so skeptical, and yet, when money is thrown in their face, they just sign the papers. Sign up! Harmful is going to do another video on Candid? Really? It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts that these people still have an audience, that anybody listens to them as though they are intelligent. They're pseudo-intellectual windbags with massive egos, and they just think that their shit doesn't stink. They think they're always right. Unless, of course, they're going and making an apology to non-binary people or some shit like that. Like that Shoe on Head video where she apologizes to that Milo kid. Oh, I said you weren't trans and you really were, and I'm so sorry. And then my favorite line from that, did a video about that before. Actually, I think it was a stream. We watched the video where she says something like, now this, mind you, this is somebody that, doesn't believe in God because I'm so rational and I don't believe things that don't make sense. And then, apparently, and they posture about evidence. We need evidence before we believe this. And you listen to that video, and she says, if they feel that way, isn't that enough? If they feel like they're non-binary, isn't that enough to believe them? No, it's not. It's not enough. I feel like a unicorn. Do you see a fucking horn growing out of my head? Well, you can't see me, but you get my point. What was the Twitter nuke? I thought maybe I was banned, and I think I might be all right. I have to try after I get off the stream. I gotta get their 30 pieces of silver. So yeah, this drives me crazy. I really don't understand how... Look, people make mistakes, okay? I get that. The problem in these cases is that nobody ever owns up to their mistakes. They want to criticize, they want to hold other people accountable all day, and yet, when it comes to their mistakes, when it comes to their hypocrisies being pointed out, when it comes to criticizing them, they don't want to be held accountable. Who are you? Who are you to think that you can be critical of others if you can't even reflect upon yourself? I can log on, but I have 0 followers and 0 following. Yep, that's the same thing that's wrong with my old account. I am seeking help. So that was a good point was made on Killstream last night. It's like, yeah, he says he's seeking help, but what has he done to make up for his mistakes to the other people that he's harmed? Nothing. He never made an apology video. He made some stupid pussy tweet. They dish it out, but a lot of them can never take it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I have people talk shit to me all day. I have people call me the most horrible things almost every day in some form. Do I care? No. Do I flag them down? No. Let them do it. What does it hurt? But these guys, their egos are so big that a little pinprick might deflate it. And it amazes me that someone like Matt has gone on record saying things like, you can't play the victim if you're the antagonist. And you know what? I completely agree with that. I've made that statement multiple times. And yet, here he was doing this shit behind the scenes, and now he's playing the victim. There he was, criticizing people like Zoe Quinn, Anita, Brianna Wu, for the whole, getting threats and whatnot. And then he claims he's getting threats aimed at his daughter. Well, boo-hoo. Call the police. Like, take it to the authorities. We don't give a shit. If you think it's a valid threat, which of course it isn't, because it's always by some account that has absolutely no following or no tweets, and they they hone in on that one guy. And you want to know why they do it? They do it to deflect against all of the criticisms. They can just say, oh, I'm being harassed. Everything else is invalid now because I'm being harassed. The antagonist cries out as he strikes you. No, if you're going to throw a punch, get ready to be wrecked, okay? You can't have it both ways. If you step into the ring, prepare to take a couple of punches. I don't see what's so hard to understand about that. What bothers me is that they're fans... Oh! Don't even get me started on the fans. The fans are autistic, okay? And that's an insult to people that actually have autism, so maybe I should choose a different term, because the way that they blindly defend these people, even when it goes against everything that they have previously stood for, they'll find a way to justify it. They'll find a way to excuse it. They'll say, oh, it's just a mistake. You guys are just doing this for views. You just want content for your websites or your videos or your streams. Well, hey, morons, couldn't that same logic be twisted around on everybody that's ever made a video talking to some feminist? It's absurd. You need a better argument than that. You're just jealous of their following. No, I'm not. Because if I had fans like that, I'd axe myself. Nah, man, normal autism. So they're the level beyond autism. Anything they don't like, they call drama. Exactly. And the best part is, they're always taking part in drama of their own. They love drama. Don't forget the obligatory hashtag not all. Of course. The only thing I ever watched by Shoe on Head was her episode, wait a second, that went by fast, about patriarchy. That was like 3 or 4 years ago now. In this moment, I am euphoric, not because of any side of offense, but because I'm enlightened by my neutrality. Thank you for the $5, Vegeter. The autism in Matt's Discord is not human. Oh, that Discord, the screenshots were so funny. So, let me just address that real quick before we get out of here. So, you guys remember that, that was like 2 years ago, you're stretching? I don't know what we're talking about. You guys remember the comments that Matt made about Shoe on Head and Armored Skeptic when they were at VidCon, and how he thought they acted weird. And he said something like, Armored Skeptic looks like the type of guy that would cry the first time he saw a vagina, which I don't know how Matt thinks he doesn't look like that type of guy. But I think that I finally understand why he said that now. I can't pull it up because my Twitter's fucked, but it's on Dongwave's Twitter. He posted screenshots from the Discord, so you can go there and check that out. He searches for Rule 34 of YouTubers in his Discord. He searched for one called Rule 34 Mama June. So, is it possible that Matt is just jealous that he never got that shot with Shoe on Head? I think it's possible. Quite possible. Anyway, that's mostly a joke. I don't know. It's just funny to think about. Talk shit, get hit. There you go. Words to live by. How about play stupid games, win stupid prizes? Crying over play buttons is much better. You think if he keeps losing subs that YouTube will force him to mail it back? Mama June, oof. Rule 34 is the whole, if it's out there, there's porn of it. Don't forget the pillow stuff. Oh. Well, like I said, go to Dongwave's Twitter and check out the screenshots. You'll see and be disturbed for yourselves. All right, guys. I think... Let me see. It's only been about an hour. Let's read through one more thing. Let's switch the topics away from the YouTubers. I just thought that this thing was kind of funny. So we'll just take a quick look at it, and it's from... I don't know why CNN Money. I don't know. Well, I guess because it has to do with business. So... let's take a look, and I'm sure you'll love it from the headlines alone. They, them, theirs. The push for going gender neutral in the workplace. I'm not going to watch the video because I don't know if that'll get struck. But let's check this out. These pronouns are becoming increasingly important in the workplace. Some members of the LGBTQ plus community who identify as non-binary, gender non-conforming, or gender queer prefer they-them pronouns to reflect their identity, and gender expression rather than he-him or she-her pronouns that designate a person as male or female. Oh, yeah, I think he did get banned, but he made a new one. Unfortunately, I don't know the link because my Twitter's screwed right now. So this is hilarious to me. The topic of pronouns has always been silly to me. And one of the reasons why... Thanks for hosting, Ralph. No problem. One of the reasons why is that usually pronouns are used when you're not even present to hear it. Now, maybe sometimes, like in the workplace, that'll be a little bit different because somebody could be talking about you, when you're in the office, and they'll say something like, go get it from her, go get it from him. But go get it from they, does that sound normal to you? It sounds awkward. And it blows my mind that people act as though we should be forced to use certain language to refer to people, that they have some kind of control over the words that I say. This is emerging territory for workplaces, says Beck Bailey, Deputy Director of Workplace Equality at the Human Rights Campaign. Non-binary people have always existed. No, they haven't, but the idea of openly discussing and making spaces for welcoming non-binary people is something that's really happening only the last couple of years. I'm sorry, but non-binary is nothing more than a fashion choice. Go look at every person that identifies as non-binary. It's fashion related. You can still tell what they are. And they want to use their personality traits as a gender and then claim they're oppressed and then that people have to cater to their every desire. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. Anybody can just call themselves non-binary and suddenly we have to respect them as a transgender person and follow their rules because for some reason they should be able to control us. It's a way to rob us of our individuality. Yes, mentally ill people have always existed. Okay, I will give you that. I will definitely give you that. And for many workplaces, making space for non-binary people is tricky. You want to know why? Because they're a fucking hassle. They think everything is about them. Because some people may prefer certain pronouns but present themselves in a more masculine or feminine way. Think wearing a tie versus wearing lipstick. And this is where it all falls apart. SS, thanks for the $5. He, or him, hers, theirs. Doesn't matter in the service to the God Emperor of mankind. Nice. So, this is where their argument falls apart for me. Because these are the same people that want to tell you that stereotypical gender roles are problematic and they have to be ended. And then, in the same breath, they want to tell you that wearing a tie or wearing lipstick is what makes you a man or a woman. And that somehow if they do neither, they're non-binary. Or that if they're a man that wears lipstick, they're non-binary. It's just, it completely contradicts what they originally stated. And you can't point it out to them because they'll just call you transphobic. And that's what it's become. They don't have to have an argument for their principles or their standards anymore. They can just place a label on you and write off what you say. Non-binary doesn't mean trans. Well, I'm aware of that, but what they do is they try to conflate it with trans. I mean, these are people that don't do anything except dress differently or wear their hair a certain way. So I agree that it doesn't mean trans, but they think that it puts them under the so-called trans umbrella. Why does every non-binary person wear flannels and have short hair? Like I said, fashion statement. They're the ones pushing the idea women dress a certain way and men dress a certain way. Exactly right. So let's see. Coworkers can misidentify them without even realizing their mistake. Except it's not a mistake. All right, let's continue a little bit on. Connor Flan, Joel Park. an after-school leader at the Free Library of Philadelphia, relies on several visual reminders to help colleagues and library patrons. Park wears a variety of buttons on their bag and clothing, including one specifying their pronouns, they, them. Their email signature even includes a line about it, pronouns, they, them. Imagine doing this. Imagine thinking that you're so important that you have to wear your labels around with you, that anybody cares, that anybody is required to do this because you demand it. I made it a point to have that conversation about identity, especially working with children like I do, they say. The work of inclusion is twice as important when you're working with families and children. You never know who's going through that same process of coming out or questioning. Hey guys versus hey friends. This one's always been funny to me too, because they've even tried to pull this with feminism. So they'll say, don't say, hey guys, it ignores the fact that there's women in the room. No, if anything, I would argue that guys has been used in a neutral way. It just refers to a group of people. Fun counting, what Twitter nuke? I thought that I got banned. It turns out that it was a temporary limitation. So I should be okay. My account should be back. I just have to do some confirmation thing. But I was on a 12-hour suspension, and I don't know why. I just don't know why. They didn't tell me what I did. I just wouldn't hire such a liability. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to ruin it for themselves. They're going to ruin their own opportunities by being so obnoxious with their personality. So it says, that's especially important for workplaces to remember, says Max Masseur, co-founder of Argo Collective, a group created to train workplaces on gender and inclusion. What are all of these organizations? Do you see how many different ones we've gone through already? I was told I couldn't use dude anymore. I've been told that before, and I don't care. Oh, you prefer they, them, puts application in the garbage. Yeah, I could see that happening. I would definitely, they probably do that. Monsieur recommends embracing simple changes. Even something seemingly small, like saying, hey everyone, instead of hey guys, when you enter a meeting, can help make non-binary employees feel less other. But why do you even feel like an other just because of one word that doesn't necessarily even refer to your gender? You're just being, extremely difficult and taking everything personally when it's not necessarily about you. It's like a group term. You know what I would say? If you're going to go this route, well then why can't all of the individuals in the room just say, hey, you can't refer to us as guys because we're all individuals. So you're going to walk in this room and you're going to say, you're going to call us all by our names. Why isn't that a valid request? Oh, because they're not trans? Okay, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Changing the vocabulary is something that is easy compared to changing society. When you start using real gender-neutral terms, you prompt society to change over time. So, hey guys is powerful. The power of hey guys. I remember one time I walked into a room. I said hey guys when it was actually a group of girls and non-binary people. Blew them clear across the room. It was a mess. They were cleaning up their lunch for days. Non-binary and these weird identities are just a trend, kids that just follow, and adults that are just idiots that want to feel special because their parents ignored them. It really does seem that way. Whoa, dude, don't say dude. The chat's going to explode. The power behind that word. The power of allies. Instead of the power of friendship, it's now the power of allies. So let's see. Masseur sees a real role for allies here. While some non-binary people may feel awkward, constantly calling out misgendering or reminding people of their correct pronouns, colleagues can do small things to help. Even people who use he, she pronouns can do their part, like calling out whatever pronouns they prefer in LinkedIn profiles or adding them to workplace directories and email signatures. And that's why everybody's been doing this. That's why you'll go on Twitter and you'll see these guys and these women that you would never mistake for anything other than what they are, and they'll put their pronouns in the bio. It's like, that's not necessary. I know what to call you based on an observation. Okay? And that's what a pronoun really is. It's a linguistic tool based on an observation. We've never asked people what their pronouns are. We look at them and we know. Now, of course, you can say in some cases that's tricky, but those are outliers. Why do you even bother reading this autistic shit? Entertainment. That's really what it is. Okay, so let's see. Monsieur remembers one story from an Argo Collective workshop. An attendee added his he/him pronouns to his LinkedIn profile, just as a sign of solidarity with the non-binary community, a community that doesn't exist. After he made the change, a coworker reached out, thanking him for doing so, and saying they now felt comfortable, talking about their own preferred pronouns, they, them, in the workplace. Apparently I'm getting the hiccups mid-article here. Several things in Park's office make them feel comfortable. A gender-neutral bathroom on every floor, for example, and Philadelphia's strong protections for gender identity, which is the most insane thing to have a protection in place for something as arbitrary as gender identity, or as, maybe that's not the exactly the right word that I'm looking for, but something that people can just like change on a whim, because their claim is gender identity is whatever you feel. So to have a legal protection for somebody's subjective perception of themselves is absolute absurdity. With those kinds of things in place, plus the support of their colleagues, they say they have more emotional bandwidth to be a genderqueer activist in the workplace. Working in a public organization with a very robust idea of what diversity means and what inclusion means, I know exactly what it means. I'm sure everybody in the chat knows what diversity and inclusion means by now as well. I find it a very fulfilling part of my job almost to be that person for people, they say. Hopefully, maybe, if there are eventually enough people working in jobs like mine, maybe that will smooth the way for others. Hopefully not. While it's difficult for non-binary folks to always bear the burden of calling out those who disregard these things, Monsieur points out straight, cisgender, that's a term I hate. So, that's just what I love about this. Cisgender. They want to call you cisgender. They want to call the ordinary, average person cisgender, but yet you have to refer to them by whatever label they choose. So they can choose a label for you, but you can never choose one for them. Cisgender allies can pick up a lot of that work on behalf of their peers. Monsieur recommends calling in as opposed to calling out. That's when they'll pull aside someone after an incident and have a one-on-one conversation about what happened. Calling in is very, very hard at the beginning, but I always remember calling in just means that you're not coming into work. Don't steal that. But I always remember the discomfort I have when I talk to someone is way, way smaller than the discomfort of the people who are misgendered, they say. And it doesn't cost me my identity if I'm an ally. Well, isn't that sweet? So, I really, really think that this trans, for lack of a better term, agenda, they really have to pat themselves on the back, because what they've done here is actually gotten a ridiculous amount of people to play along with one of the greatest delusions of all time. We actually have to pretend now that people are something that they're not, just because they feel a certain way, just because they want to be difficult and tell you that you need to speak to them a certain way. And if you don't do it, you're some kind of bigot because you believe in an objective reality where, you know, nature is a thing and it's not something that you can just change with a thought. All right, so let me just take a look at the chat before we wrap up here. Diversity means cancer. And it also means, you know, nothing straight, nothing white, nothing male. And in some cases, even black males that are straight as well. I get called all sorts of versions of my name. I just answer to whatever because close enough, I really don't care. Charles Bronson featured below an article about pronouns. Yeah, he needs to come back and take care of this mess. If anything, just use cis to mean transvestite. Hold on a sec here. Just want to check. Cis isn't normal. It's a word that's equivalent as the word faggot, but for them not to use the word faggot because they'll feel shameful for using it. If your identity needs to be constantly reaffirmed to make it real, it ain't real. Yeah, these guys have to get some sort of, pat yourself on the back and tell me what inspires you. I don't know, man. Thoughts are a pretty powerful tool. Straight black males are the white people of black people. I do remember that one. Diversity is mundane's daughter. Oh, man. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. I want to give them a little bit of time. I think they have everything set up for the kill stream, but I just want to make sure. Anonymous, thank you for the $5 there. It hasn't popped up on YouTube yet, so I can't see the message, unless that was Streamlabs and not Super Chat. In which case, I'll try to log into Streamlabs to see it, because I think you did type something there. One moment before we wrap up. Oh, there it is. Oh, but I didn't catch it. It was too small. Just might watch Death Wish today. Yeah. I can understand why. How long before diversity is a stripper name? It might be already. It might be already. Oh, you know what? I actually can't see your message, Anonymous, because we set up with Ralph's, because he's going to be on the channel for a while. So, yeah, I forgot that I switched it over. I apologize for that. But if somebody caught the message and they want to type it in the chat, I will read it before I wrap up. Zidane is back tonight, so there will be a post show. I keep wanting to go on his post show, but it's always so late, and I have to get up in the morning, and I can't stay up for it in time. Or I can't stay up for it if I want to wake up on time, rather. Here's 2 shekels. Hope that boulder falls on Matt. $2. Thank you, Ozymandias. What is your icon? I love him. It's a creature called a Nuke from Chrono Trigger, the video game Chrono Trigger. But I had a friend draw it. Just saying I like the show. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Nicholas, what is it? Krauser? His post show is pretty good. Yeah, I've caught it a couple of times for, like an hour or two, but it's usually, I'm already in bed, so I'm just kind of listening in until I fall asleep. But all right, guys, gone through everything I wanted to go through for this evening. I will try to be back before too long. I don't really have a set schedule yet, but Killstream will be here every weekday at 11 p.m., the usual time for the next couple months, because their appeal got denied. So at the very least, you will have that. I'm going to just play you guys out with a little video, well, actually, I don't know if it'll work. I hope it works. If it works, I'll play you out. If it doesn't work because Twitter got fucked up, then I'll just turn the stream off, okay? I'm going to mute myself now. I'm going to try to play this. If it doesn't work, I'm going to turn the stream off. So have a good evening, everybody.
Never seen a blue sky. Yeah, I can feel it reaching out and moving closer. There's something about blue. I ask myself what it's all for. You know the funny thing about it, I couldn't answer. No, I couldn't answer. Things have turned a deeper shade of blue. The images that might be real, maybe illusion. Keep flashing off and on.